Welcome, Spark. So what kind of Spark are you? Player? Creator? Or both? The stories yet to be told. The games to be made. Civilizations and societies to be formed. Welcome, Spark. The universe is waiting for what kind of Spark into life. Play. Now, how do we begin?
And we're live! Hello, community!
Hey guys!
Alright, you got SparkBrian and SparkThomas here to show you...
A halfway sane SparkThomas, but...
here to show you lots of stuff. For those of you who don't know, a huge update is coming to Project Spark on Monday, October 5th.
That is 3 days.
From now.
Yes.
Or it is how many days past, present, or future from when you're watching this on YouTube.
Yeah, that is true. This might have been a long time ago.
Yeah. So we have a lot of stuff to get through, and we're just going to jump into it. This is the new menu, except for the banner image right there.
Yeah, banner will change.
It won't be saying battle stations, but you're just going to have two choices: play or create.
Yep.
You'll still have the Team Dakota featured worlds. That'll still continue every week. We'll have new featured worlds up there. But you have two simple options. You want to play something or you want to create something. And so you go into play, and just like this hasn't changed. It's just like before. And you go to community games, and you have the same amount, I guess, of feeds, but you have a lot of different feeds.
They're kind of differently organized, and they're doing different things, but... They're cool. I'm excited.
Me too. So we change around quite a few things with just our feed sorting and algorithms, so that we are no longer basing any sort of feed sorting on ratings on levels. We've received that feedback from the community enough that we've decided to go for a different algorithm than ratings. And so it'll be based on a combination of downloads and favorites and kind of the recency of it, and tiny bit on rating. So it'll be a lot of different things factoring into each one of these feeds. Some of the feeds are the same. We of course have newest still. We still have our Hall of Fame. We still have New and Rising, followed creators, my favorites, and then what used to be top rated is now community favorites. Every one of these feeds though is pretty much based on the new algorithm. It'll be kind of pointless to show you because this is all internal levels, so...
There wouldn't be anything cool there.
Yeah, there's not really anything really cool that we can show you. So we have... we'll have some new feeds like recent assemblies, which is people are using assembly tag on their feeds. We'll have a lot of different tagged favorite feeds as well that'll go in here. We will also have a cool longer experiences feed that will be games that take a longer time, like 45 minutes to an hour to play. Those you can all find here. And so a lot of these will be based on our new sorting, and some will also be based on us manually putting things into certain feeds.
Mm-hmm. And the ordering itself, it makes sense now, which I'm very, very excited.
Yeah, it does. It's a nice progression, nice order of stuff. So yay!
One thing I do want to add onto the feeds is that it will be different for people on curated.
Oh yeah, it will be. Mm-hmm. Yep. So if we really thought through it, so for those of you who don't know, we have a curated feeds area and a non-curated feed. And basically, curated feeds means you are probably a child or someone who needs to only play games that are age appropriate. So we built the whole feeds around them and making certain that certain tags that usually lead to non-appropriate things are not on there. So yeah, it's a different experience for those who are curated.
It makes a lot more sense, and it'll be more pleasant to use.
Mm-hmm.
And usually, with curated too, there's a lot less new stuff coming in, so we're stressing more like the longer feeds and different play experiences versus like newest and things like that.
Mm-hmm. Good question about the long games feed. How long is long? So Charge My Lasers Invasion 2 is on that feed, for instance. That's a nice long game. I think it takes you about 30 or so minutes to beat, but it has a lot of replay value because you have extra achievements. You can play
There's like a survival mode.
Right, exactly. So there are games like that that will, are very replayable and have 45 minutes to an hour to more of
Yeah,
of
it's
content.
for when you're in the mood to, you want to sit down and spend an hour just playing like one game.
Right,
Should be
or
really cool.
hours playing a game too.
Exactly. Yep.
There are a few games that are like hours long.
Yeah.
So,
you got the Farlands in there too, right?
Yeah, Farlands is in there. So let's jump into starting from scratch. And Tom, so you want to start just going through all the content?
Yeah.
And I can jump in for some of the content.
This is like gonna be a crazy, really quick. So we're gonna start off looking at Bog, and then we're gonna do Dragon, and then we're gonna do the primitives. So it can be really, really fast, since there's a ton of cover through. So it'll be like dropping props, and that's pretty much it.
And sorry, one question getting to on chat. Tokens will be removed from your profile view. You're seeing right now, it is showing tokens for us. That's because we're doing on Monday when this goes live, we're doing a services deployment also, which gets rid of that stuff. So that's why you're still seeing tokens appear on our profile, but tokens will no longer appear on your profile after Monday because they're not necessary anymore. Credits will, I believe credits will still stay.
Yeah.
Because they're just they're just a way to show you kind of how much you've amassed level-wise, credit-wise.
Yeah. We figured people still would want to see their credit values.
Yeah.
Cool. So I'm already starting to drop a bunch of props. You got cool beehive here. You got lily pads to go into the swamp water. You got these giant like archways, and these are actually called the roots, big
Right.
moss roots. And they're kind of these big architecture pieces for the biome itself. So you can imagine these being kind of covering and really defining the player space or not, because they're so kind of macro structures.
Yeah. Yep.
Get those guys. Got a set here of mushrooms. Let me make sure I got them all. I think I got mushroom A. Here's mushroom B. And mushroom C. So here's the family here of different mushrooms coming in Bog.
Mushroom family.
Mushroom family, so cute. You got the little one and you got the papa one. Let me get rid of those guys. Alright, a little too fast there on that. Alright, you got two variety of bog plants here. A and B. Love these little glowing things. These are gonna be really cool. I can't wait to see how these get used, like hanging from a ceiling and stuff.
Yeah. They look great there. And these are the roots without the moss.
Yep. Roots without moss. Let me put those down real fast. So you got the two variations there. Very cool. And you got a couple variations of trees. People have asked for trees for a very long time.
And they're more like pine trees, which people
They
are asking
are.
for too. So I'm really excited about that.
So here's A, B, and C, going from less to more complicated. And you got also branches, so you can take this guy and like add it on here and kind of make your own custom tree with that, or just kind of a loose branch.
Mm-hmm.
Then you also got the fertile tree, so this
Right.
is the massive guy, and he has those glow pods underneath here growing, and those can end up dropping off, and we'll look at that prop too. So here's your set of trees.
I like how you're keeping the space nice and blank after you go through a variety through some
Yeah.
of them. Just all right, delete, go to the next one.
That's how I like when I'm typically looking at new props. Is like kind of how I do it.
Yeah.
You got two different variations of vines here. Pretty straightforward. A little bit messier one. They both make actually good equipables for like weapons and stuff to slam. Pick up and start. Good like first starter weapon, I would say.
And they're just great in general for detail on environments.
They are filler like clutter pieces.
Yeah, the nice thing is we have a lot of pieces in here that are just like if you want to get into the nitty gritty details, they're great for that.
Yeah. You got these two bones here. You got the rib cage, and basically this came off the rib cage, so obviously this could use a weapon too, and just good for shaping things. This actually I think would be a great macro structure too.
Mm-hmm.
Like some giant ominous like dead animal, but you see it like in the background, kind of like I don't know, makes the place feel very scary.
Yeah, that's for sure.
And let's see, you got Dangling Moss. So this guy's one of the heroes, I think, of this pack because he got the flag physics on him, so you can do a lot of crazy things. Just like the most organic thing that we have because it has this life to it, right? So I imagine this being used for like any kind of game that you have you know, you want like an alien planet, or you're like inside the stomach of some animal. I see that being heavily used there. We also got these two smaller, you got ginger root and glow stalks. These are also some vegetation, smaller clutter there that can go in, fill in a space. This is that glow fungus pot I was talking about. So these are like underneath that tree. So these are kind of the spore, or the growing kind of seeds that are in the boglands. They're pretty big actually. They look really cool when you make it pitch black too, because this is like emissive and bright. Very cool. Delete those guys. Delete the dangling moss. There's also now 2 versions of hanging moss on here too. So these are perfect to put on structures. They actually work great on the dungeon walls.
Yeah, they do.
Because you can see they kind of just sit right there, like right on top of it.
Yeah.
Get perfect.
They're great for organic looking flags too. You have like you know, a bunch of swamp goblins, and that's kind of their flag. Yep.
Hollow log, which is just perfect for your woodland entryways or clutter or what have you. Can be, starts off really large, but you can make it really small, really big. It actually kind of looks like a scroll when you make it really small.
Oh yeah,
I think it'd be pretty cool.
But it's big enough that you can walk through it too.
Or quiver on like your druid archer or something from the woods.
I mean, I see it as like a brace, like for your character.
Good on the forearm. Yeah. And we got, okay, these are my favorite. These are the new stone chimneys. So the flotillas. So these are really, you think about these, and they put them like on water, right? And they kind of float there. They're kind of like these very large lily pad-ish structures that just ask to be platformed on. But we can actually use, they're just rocks that you can actually sandwich into terrain. And it, you know, for one prop count, you know, you're getting a lot of textures and ground and breaking up the, you know, the terrain there. So I can't wait to use these things in my creations.
Yep.
These are gonna be awesome for that. And you got 2 pitcher plants. Here's A and B. Perfect for kind of vases. I think like also like if you're like doing a super sci-fi world, I actually think these look like sci-fi plants, or like even like kitchenware they could pass as too.
Yeah, I agree with that.
And stuff. Very cool. And I actually think these guys are really cool macro structures when you switch them up.
Yeah,
like
they look like
they're like totemish.
Like cool organic structures.
Yeah. Kind of like that. Put it in the ground. Stand it up. There's that. And looks like we're getting closer here. You got root balls. These things are just gnarly. I actually kind of think these have a home and conquer. I can't. I'm alluding to something there.
I can't unsee the faces in them. They look like alien
face.
Yeah, I can't unsee those now.
I love this spiked melon, right?
Yeah,
it's called. Yeah.
The more edible items, the better.
Yeah, I don't know if I'd want to eat that, but pretty scary. That might hurt.
That's true. I think it poisons you currently, so it's not the best edible.
And the satchel hat, bag and a campfire.
Yeah.
This has gotten a lot of names.
It's a spore plant, though.
Yeah.
And default brain that damages you.
Winter hat is the go-to, I think, but it is a spore plant, so that is its main function. It actually there's a default brain when you use it with the biome brush, which hurts you, which is pretty cool. All right, so there's all the props. Real quickly, here's the 3 characters. You got Bogbill. Let me switch that. Bogbill Bird, the piranha.
Mean-looking guy.
And the lizard. So these are your new critters coming with Noxious Bog. Look at those 3.
Yeah.
General Akbar right here. Fish head. Now this guy, he has a related cousin.
That's true, a bigger cousin.
He does, and we'll look at him in just a second. Let me make sure. Okay, I'm not going to go through each one of these. But
yeah, that's fine. We have
really cool visual effects that are just gooey, gassy, perfect for swamp. Got some insects, spore drifting. It's awesome. Also got a bunch of sounds. Where is that perfect? I think these ones need to be heard again.
I think we have the sound pretty low.
Okay, well, if you can't hear them,
great for
make
horror
sure you
games.
go check out the Bogbill sounds, because they're scary.
Yep. And quickly, So the thing you should know is once this update goes out, you guys just automatically have this.
You guys will just have all these things.
Yeah, so this will automatically be unlocked. Everything will be unlocked for you in your prop gallery. So to find all the Noxious Bog stuff, you use that Noxious Bog tag to check out all this new stuff. So it'll just be automatically in your gallery.
Yeah. Oh, and sorry we didn't start off. Just say so. We are reviewing content today. We moved yesterday's stream to today. We just wanted to observe the tragedy that was yesterday. So that's what we're doing today. Well, hopefully we'll try to get some time to go look at community games. But
let's see. Let's see how fast we get through this.
We're at 20 minutes, and then there's also some really cool assemblies, and I'll leave it at that. All right. Switching over, now the next pack we're going to look at is Dragon's Ascension.
Yeah.
This one actually has fewer props, so we'll be pretty quick here. So we
Dragon
got
Claw.
Dragon Claw, and this guy also has the fatter version, Dragon Scale.
Which makes it a perfect shield as
Yep.
well.
And this can be really like a weapon too, I think. Kind of like a shiv.
Yeah, I agree with that.
So these are really cool because you can actually attach them to your dragon character. Yes, you're getting a dragon character. And you can make your own custom dragons using these guys. There is also these complementing... This is just the pack of complementing props.
Yeah.
too.
Besides, yeah, exactly, it is.
And then you got these two. I should have just left them their default
Yeah.
size. Oh well.
And they do really these two do really well when recolored to make it actually look like a living dragon. So I'm really excited what people are going to do with that to make.
So you got Stone Head and Stone Jaw. You can throw these on top of a character to make them like a dragon warrior, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Also perfect for like an entryway into a mountain or a dungeon. Over that mouth opening and closing can be really cool. And then last but not least, wings. People have asked for wings for a really long time, and these are super cool.
Yep, you can
left and a right.
So what I expect, we have the dragon and we have the lizard both being added. People can take that lizard, add wings onto them, and make little dragonlings. And like as you're going to the dragon boss, you run across these little dragonlings. You're like, no, I must destroy the dragonling.
Exactly. It's gonna be awesome. So you got those. All right, and the star of this is
is
not
Crash.
The star. Yeah. This is the star right here. So Dragon is coming on Monday. And this will also be just free and in your gallery. He's awesome.
Yep.
There's almost no words, right? He's by far probably the coolest character that we've ever put in Project Spark.
I would agree with that completely.
So can't wait to get him in game and see what you guys do. I can't wait to fight dragons. I can't wait to play as dragons. I can't wait to play as a dragon herd. We've done that on stream once. So Dragon, I can't wait. Coming Monday.
And you can find all that with the Dragon's Ascension tag, all this dragon stuff.
Yep. You got the two effects here, Dragon's Roar and Fire Breath. So those are going to be two attacks that the Dragon's going to have, and you can also use them for whatever. Dragon's Roar is like the perfect tornado visual effect that we've always wanted. We also got really cool music in the Dragon pack. So on top of like, just stuff that goes along with the Dragon character, he also has like this music Dragon battle.
Yes, which is great.
Yes, awesome in all the stems as well as you would expect. And last but not least, no assemblies. Okay, cool. All right, so what we haven't seen so far
is Complex Primitives is next.
Yes, and we're actually going to look at it under Thin Primitives tag, because there's not going to be a separate Complex Primitives tag.
And after that, we're going to get to new things like the rat. But let's
and a bunch of the one-off props,
Yeah, let's first look at Complex Primitives.
So you'll see a couple of the Thin Primitives in here, but for the most part, these
are
actually all new ones.
The first three are actually part of this new thing.
Yep. So these are really huge flat pieces.
Yeah, I mean, so with the Complex Primitives, they're physically the biggest things we've ever shipped in Project Spark. They're big enough. The reason for making these and shipping them to you guys is making the building blocks to help you make cities and skyscrapers
I mean,
and
these are
buildings
just great
more
for
easily.
Bordering out like invisible walls and and white boxing your world in. There's like primitives are used for a lot of things like that. So these are just like awesome. Okay, this one is also new.
Yep.
New shaped big block. And then we got some really interesting pieces here.
Sure we do. Yes, we definitely do. Lots of really interesting pieces. I mean, it's an oxymoron to call it complex primitives. We did that kind of on purpose, but they are really interesting primitive shapes that we think you're going to get a lot out of. Like that.
I expect to see a lot of skateboard games now.
Yes, exactly. So these are like a piece like this, for instance, is perfect for a building, and I would suggest using Snap to Grid with this kind of stuff.
That is a good call.
Because then you can kind of bring it up and continue it on, and I like how in these also you have like different sides look differently as well.
So that immediately is doing a lot of things I would like it to do.
Right.
By putting only 4 props down.
So, we've really seen people embrace our primitives and do lots of things with them, and this just gives you a lot more ways to make stuff with the primitives by using a lot less primitives. So this, and also there are certain things like this that were never possible, where it's basically half pipe.
Yeah, half pipe. It could be cool to see like racing games too, maybe that come out and use this kind of stuff. Oh, this piece is really cool.
Yeah, so you can make a skating park basically with all of these different pieces.
And this block, which is actually just really nice, like indented, like this is good for like modern, like any kind of modern architecture you're trying to do. Like, people always like try to build their houses in Spark. I've seen that. Like, and here's your cubbies or a dresser, like just like that. Cabinetry. It's gonna be awesome.
And the really good thing is you can recolor all this stuff. Obviously, they all have missives where they kind of glow when you power them on. So you can combine a bunch of these together and kind of change around their colors. So they're not, right now default they just look white.
Yeah.
But you can change them to be more vibrant colors.
Another really cool piece.
Right, kind of a corner piece for that last thing indented piece we were looking at.
Yep. And this guy was originally in this pack, and we were like, we need this in this pack because it's so cool. Because it's just like there's not anything like it, and it's so unique. Imagine just stacking a bunch of these guys.
Yeah, exactly. And it's really great also for kind of signs as well. Then we have a primitive.
There's a hexagon one too, so you can like. I don't know. These are cool. These are like good doorways too, or there's just so much. You can do these. Sci-fi-ish too.
Or just color shapes for kids games.
Yeah. Let me clear here. Okay. This guy. Dome.
Right. Yeah. And we did it in quarter domes too, so you can really. It just makes things a lot more fun to work around with that stuff.
Boom, dome. Now you're missing a side. It's gonna be cool. Gonna be able to make a really easy like observatory now.
That's true.
The most domed thing I
That is
can
very
think
true.
of at the time. Okay, we got also this interesting shape.
We had a lot of fun naming these too.
And I like because this kind of does 2 things for you, right? You got one side like that and another like that, so you can kind of expose what you want to the player or use them both. It really depends, but I think having it actually a different side like that gives you kind of 2 different options there. Yeah, the names are.
I love the next one is my
large
favorite.
Rounded block.
My favorite is the next one.
Yeah,
it's primitive sawed block. Our modular artist created this, and I was like, I think people will find this useful. I don't know what to call it.
Yeah.
So we went with primitive sawed block, but it just creates a very interesting, really interesting shape. That's for sure.
Yeah. So what I like to use this for is taking it and actually like any of these ends right that are sawed like this. Let me find how I want to rotate this. So if you take it and you put it through, you get like a venting, like automatically.
Yeah, that's true. That's a really good point. Yeah.
That was first benefit I immediately saw. Is like this would take 15 props to do before if you wanted a good venting, and now you have like a siding that's immediately done. Basically.
Oh wow, I didn't even think about that. That's a good point. Yeah. And question being asked: what is the collision boxes on these? As in. Colliding with characters and other objects, what's that? And it's perfect to the shapes of these objects. So collisions should be really good on these props.
And what's cool is since they're already macro size, you can pretty much scale them up, and they should do better than other primitives because they were smaller.
Exactly.
Like the smaller cubes and things, their collisions aren't as tight when you blow them up big. But because you start off so big, they're gonna actually be a much tighter to the geometry of the shape.
Yeah.
So you got these two bases too, which these are just super awesome, right? So you got like an archway on this one that's a single. You got a double there, and you got another single. So two like that.
Right. You know, with a lot of the pieces here, what we kind of did is we gave you 2 different looks on 2 different sides. So if you're working with buildings, with larger buildings, you can kind of change the look of them by switching around the sides.
Yep. And
This guy. So this is one of the really big ones. This is one of our tall ones. It has really nice paneling. You can use it for a lot of different
this
stuff.
is like perfect for an interior, like your room.
Yep, that's true. Well, that would be a pretty big room.
Well,
pretty tall
yeah,
room.
when you,
you'd have to scale. Yeah, to scale
you
it
even
down.
got like crown molding.
Yeah, that's true. That makes a great interior wall.
Okay, and we got. Okay, I'll do this set of 3 right now.
There's actually 4, I believe, that kind of fit together.
Yep, looks like there's that.
So these are the medium pieces. These are, I think, the smallest 4 pieces of the new thing, and they just kind of make extra add-ons. So it's taking our primitive square and just chinging it up into a bit new, different shapes.
Yeah, this one's really interesting. With like,
right, just like one thing on the side. Yeah,
yeah, the corner. That will be interesting. I'm curious on how that one's gonna get used. Yeah, these are cool. So many primitives.
So we got
Sorry,
primitive
I'm
stairs.
sure I'm going.
No,
so...
that's part of the thin
Oh,
primitives.
that's right. Now I'm gonna start hitting some of those. Okay, so not that one. Stairs.
Yep, primitive stairs.
Boom.
So, someone was talking about collisions on these, as in like how things collide. Collisions are so good that, for instance, these stairs. So just like this, your character can walk up them. But if you scale the stairs long enough or big enough, characters will no longer be able to walk up them because they'll be like too tall for the character. So they'll bump into it and you'll have to jump up them. So that's how good we have the collisions where it knows when something's big enough.
Yeah, that was actually a problem with these at first because we're like they're not like stairs because they're going in too big. This guy is just obviously super useful.
Oh, look at the other side. Because it from there it just looks like whatever. Oh, sorry. This is just the.
I thought I had the right piece.
This is the regular block piece. Yeah. I thought you picked up the other one. Yeah. So that's like the base of creating a large structure. That's right, the basic one. I thought you picked the next one.
Yeah.
Because like on one side it looks normal, and then you look on that side. Like there it looks normal, but you go around to the other side.
Yeah, totally normal.
And then suddenly it's
what? Where did half my building go?
Oh. Before we delete that, though, just quickly go into powering it on, just so people can see it with.
Sure.
I think people would ask them to just see it with emissive. So that's what it looks like. Kind of glows, and you know that corresponds to whatever you color it. So that will be really useful when we get to our last few items.
Boom. This guy too.
Yep, that one's a kind of
another
curved
building
piece.
block. Yep. There's another similar one, but it was smaller, and we built the tower of it.
Right. Oh, the topper, or as I like to call the trophy.
This is the trophy. Yep.
So that's like perfect topper for a building or a perfect trophy. And this is basically just straight up
building.
Pretty much building.
No question on that one.
Yeah. This one's very interesting actually because it has a nice vented side, but it also has cool indented capsule sides, which those 2 capsule sides.
Yeah, these are really
can be
neat.
used for different things.
Mm-hmm. I just see it like. Oh. Go up. Oh, that is not like that. Is what I was going for.
Oh yeah. Yep. Bathtub.
Or sink. Or anything that's awesome. Or stadium, kind of, like on a macro level. Cool. Okay, we got that one. We got these guys.
Yep, two tall oval pieces, one on the left, one on the right.
These are like perfect Art Deco.
Right. Or turn them around and you have a track.
Yeah.
and a stadium.
Let's see. That side is just a nice.
This side's just like plain standard. The other side has shape. We did that with a lot of these, where one side is just fully primitive, the other side's a bit more complex.
Got this guy.
Yep.
And
we had smaller pieces that went well with that, and then this is kind of a topper or column that it makes a great little siding to a building.
Yep. This would be good just for like.
Let's look at the biggest piece and let's scale it down and show how kind of small it scales to.
So they're gonna surprisingly very small.
Yep.
I mean,
so let's go
snap to grid. So that's how small.
So
it goes.
that's how small it gets. So
as small as the little hexagon.
Smaller than So they get incredibly small.
Boop. Very cool. And I think we're close.
We just have the windows.
And the windows, which I think are down here.
So the window pieces are, you make those really tall structures, and then you kind of put these as inserts into them, and then you power them on, and then they look perfectly like, lit up windows. But really,
they're also good building blocks.
Besides that, they're really just good building blocks. We thought through the naming architecture of all these. We just thought through like what you might use it for. So we thought most likely people would use this for kind of windows for those buildings. But it gives you just a lot of different new thin shapes. And the one that Thomas scaled that small, everything else gets to that small as well. So we go down there. The thinner it is, the less small it gets. I think the one that probably scales down the least are the first three because they're very thin. So we can quickly show.
Yeah, these are gonna scale down the least.
Yeah.
Sure.
So let's see how far down they scale. They still scale down pretty darn far.
Yeah.
But it's obviously not one tiny hexagon.
Mm-hmm. But these are meant to be like huge flatbeds, like on your ground.
Exactly.
So let's see here. I'm kind of curious now what this looks like because we got time to play around on this stream.
And the reason why these, for instance, don't scale down that small is because we just have a limit in our engine, and it's a necessary thing where something can't be either height or width smaller than 10 centimeters in Project Spark, because once it gets down below there, just things can't sense it in the world anymore. So you start getting, we were looking into it, we definitely were, but we were starting to get a lot of crashes because of that, and just things weren't used to it. So that's why we have that limit in our engine where things can't get under 10 centimeters, either height or width. And so, when you see something that doesn't scale down as much as other things, it's probably because either the height or the width is pretty small to begin with.
Yep. Cool.
All right. You want me to go through the random stuff?
Sure.
Alrighty. So, let's start out with the thing that people have been asking for the most is the rat. Hello, Mr. Rat. So, we got a rat character here.
The coolest. I like that.
Oh, let me turn off Snap's grid. So here's our rat. Let's get rid of these guys. Let's put a little brain on him. So this is the little rat character. He looks just like a rat, just like what you'd expect on a rat. And let's give him a third-person adventurer brain. I also want to give him emotes because he works really well with emotes. His emotes are great.
He has a surprisingly number of emotes.
So before we actually play around with him, I just want to give him, let's see, D-pad, up direction. Let's do. He doesn't have every single emote, but he has almost every emote. So I think there might be a few here where I miss. But let's see. We got right. We got down. Would be dance. We got.
You have to do talk.
Left, which is disagree. Yeah, we'll get to there. All right. So here's the rat. This is how kind of he runs around and he attacks. So Mr. Rat, and here's Mr. Rat jumping.
We scaled him up. He can be a lot smaller than this if you want like an enemy rat. Or like little critters in your dungeon.
And then we have Mr. Rat swimming.
He's like,
Yeah. All right. So let's quickly look at his emotes here. So let's see. I think we have agree. He gets up and agrees with you. We have, let's see. I don't think he has cheer or dance, and that's disagree. So okay, he didn't have cheer or dance. Those are the two that he didn't have. Then we have greet. We have love. He might not have love. I forget. Mad and sad. So let's see. We got. Oh, okay. He doesn't have those four. Perfect. All right. So I think we've gone through basically the ones he doesn't have. So stunned, talk.
No, he has a talk. He has a
Taunt, and alert. All right, so he has his stunned. It's like, you know, kind of him woozy. Then he's got his talk, and then he's got his taunt. That one I love. And then he's got his alert.
And his ears all up.
Yep. Then Mr. Rat also has cower, explain and give. I don't. Does he have give? I forget.
I'm not sure.
Look around. That's his cower.
Little rat. No.
He does not have give. Okay. This is his look around. I love the look around one.
Mm-hmm. You're just like so twitchy.
Yeah. I'm really excited for what people are going to do with this. Then he should have drink and eat as well. Those are kind of the last two. So that's eating.
And that's drinking.
Oh, that's drinking. You're right. And then he's got eating, where he's just kind of. So there's the rat. He's actually a new rig than what we currently have. It's not a super complex rig. We call it an intermediate rig. So I think it's you probably would compare it most to the Void Fiend, because that has a more intermediate rig. So the rat, for instance, he can't like hold guns or stuff, but he has a lot more sockets than, for instance, the squirrel and the lizard and other things. So
he'd be an interesting. He's a new alternative too. If you want to try to do a custom mount, and you want to try something different from the wolf, because he's also on 4 legs.
Yeah, he does not have rat droppings, but you can make them, I'm sure. Okay, so that's the rat. Let's go through all of the things to show you the new things. So one thing to just quickly point out, so Ancient Shrine and Ancient Shrine Base were in the treasure trove. If you missed things that were in the treasure trove, then now's your chance, where everything that we've ever had showing in the treasure trove will automatically be unlocked for people. So
there's a new thing.
Yep, first new thing, animal rug. This is a faux animal rug. It's not actually a real Yeti.
It's faux.
Yeah, no Yetis were harmed in the making of this rug. But it's just a nice little piece to put in your house, dwelling, you know, in fantasy setting, kind of the fur rug that people used to have all the time back in their medieval settings. So cool fur rug.
I don't know about you, but I have a Yeti rug at home right now. What are you talking about, medieval? Are you trying to say something about my taste in decoration?
No, it's fine that you have a Yeti rug at home. That's okay.
I worked hard to find that faux Yeti rug.
So you can make it into a lion rug pretty easily too. It scales pretty well to that. And someone said the flat face looks pretty creepy. Yeah, I guess the you know, it is a faux Yeti rug, so it's not the actual Yeti face, at least. All right, let's go through here just to make sure I'm not missing other things.
It's pretty crazy. Like, this is all stuff that's going to be available to everybody on Monday. Like,
yeah.
Right?
Yeah, that's just gonna be so empowering to a lot of creators that they're just gonna have all of this stuff to play around with suddenly. So let's see. I think I have to get through quite a few. Let's get through all the dungeon stuff. All right, so we got the evergreen bow, which used to be in the treasure trove. Flag. So, flag without pole. It
was
is
highly requested, and
Yep.
it is coming.
So it is literally the flag from the leaderboards pack. No pole though. So people have been asking, I want this thing without a pole. So we said, okay, we'll give it to you without a pole. So you can. The nice
much
thing.
easier to do capes and hair and other crazy things we've seen people try to do with
Right.
the flag.
Exactly. So like, let's just change this to fully red. And change that to fully red. And so just if you change the 2 slots the same color, you can make it you make it 1 flag. So, yay, flag without pole. So excited because it capes.
I like Eric and the Bakery's idea. Time for Super Rat.
If we have time, I might do Super Rat.
You're like, ooh, that sounds great.
All right, so let's
Get
go
to
all the way to F.
Yeah, for those who don't know, on controller, you can use the bumpers to go faster through the gallery, which you will be needing to do a lot
We
of.
totally forgot about the Goblin. So
we
Goblin
did.
War Banner.
Oof, that was bad.
So yeah, the Goblin War Banner is one item that'll be new.
He has a tag, doesn't he?
He does. The Goblin Warlord tag. Actually, this is new.
That is
so
new.
This so the Covier backpack, we realized it wasn't a prop for you guys beforehand. This came with battle stations, but it wasn't a prop. It was only something in Character Studio. So it will also be a prop with Title Update 16.
We've
So-
always been all back should be
props.
too.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
that's in there now.
I guess while I have that out, I should probably bring out the Goblin Warlord too. So Goblin Warlord, this guy is brand new. You can switch him around with the other Goblin characters. Let's take off his helmet to see his awesome face he's got there. He's like, I think of him as like the Wolverine of of goblins. He looks like Wolverine.
He looked cool with the Carlsnor back too. That was awesome.
Oh really?
Yeah, he just like had the shell
Oh
on
yeah.
him.
Oh yeah, you're
that
right.
one.
That's pretty cool. Other nice thing you'll notice is I don't have Carlsnor at level 20, but I can use the Carlsnor shell because it doesn't matter. Champion leveling items, level locked items are no longer a thing as well. All right, so we got that. Let us continue through this through this huge gallery. All right. New thing, the large rustic portal door. It's a really cool complex door structure.
Yeah. What's crazy about it is you'll notice it's made up of some other things that are props that are already in game.
Right. So this is one of the things. Like for instance, we have a lot of things that were planned for the treasure trove. That's where a lot of these loose leaf items come from. Is they were things that were going to go in the treasure trove. This is one of those examples. It has a cool power on and off state where kind of the door drops below. Let's actually take it out of here so you can just kind of see the door drops very far. I don't know.
It doesn't like go away though. It does.
Yeah, so it won't go away. But I don't know if you would want to do something with that. Like for instance,
You could do a coming out of the side of a platformer.
Right, like I could see, for instance, you kind of have this here, I guess, or like you could, I don't know.
Just do it with if you don't want the archway and just the door.
Yeah, so you just like have the door and then you can like work with this and power it. So it like suddenly this thing just rises out of the ground, I guess. Mm-hmm. But either way, its intended purpose is to be the door. So let's just change this right side up again.
I thought it was supposed to be like a helmet.
A helmet?
Yeah.
Yeah, dungeon door, basically. All right, so we made it all the way to the L's. Let's keep on foraging.
I'm sure we're probably missing some. That's okay.
Possibly, yeah. All right, so
there's all our fun
all
battle station stuff. Mace.
Yeah, the mace. So this is just a new, nice, simple weapon that it kind of makes a really nice base. So it is just a.
People might have seen concept art for this.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. So it's just a basic mace, but the nice thing is that I can see you adding a lot of stuff onto to make it also like a really complex mace too, like a really sweet looking mace. So this is just the new mace prop. It comes with the blunt attack animations. So this one will be using the blunt attack animations. I recommend if you want to make an epic mace, using this as a base and just putting extra spikes and stuff on it.
Yeah, people came up with a good use for that door, by the way. Guillotine.
Oh,
yeah,
that's true.
You can like just extend down the thing, and it'll be total guillotine.
All right. The metal street lamp. This is new too. So we have a street lamp. Really excited about this too. So automatically, you now have street lamps for your Victorian era thing, or whatever
city anything. Yeah.
It has a power on and off state.
Really, it works like modern or rustic. You could throw that in rustic too. It wouldn't be too crazy.
Right, exactly. So this is just a really easy way for you to quickly have street lights, and it has a really nice power on state where it looks like it's lit up. Yay, we have lamps. I'm excited about that. Really excited about that. All right. Continuing on our foraging through all of the things. All right, so I got a metal street lamp. That's cool. Let's keep on going. We have lots of primitives to get through.
Yeah.
There's so many primitives now. It's awesome. We used to just have
a substantial chunk. Yeah.
6 primitives before, and now we have a huge, nice amount. Oh, right. I almost forgot. We have like the reinforced stuff I need to remember about.
Did we cover those?
No, we haven't shown them yet.
Oh, I thought...
So like we have these just like I'll just quickly show them. But we have a reinforced rustic chair. So it's just basically a chair, but with metal stuff on it.
And there is also a table.
Right, exactly. Which that one is actually it's very, very interesting. I could see a bunch of different uses for it.
Very, very interesting.
Alrighty. So I have the rustic chair. Let's keep on going through. Here we go. Rustic table reinforced. So this is the new reinforced table.
Like an actual like a little end table or nightstand. Almost.
Yeah, the interesting thing is kind of the leaves coming off of it too. That's the interesting thing. So just have an extra more chair and table options. Always good to have more options. All right, so we got those. Let's keep on going. We're in the R's now, guys.
Ritual. There was a thing that was ritual decoration or something to that effect. That was in Necromancer? Ritual ornament?
Ritual ornament? Yeah, that was in Necromancer's Rise. There's so much stuff now. You guys will forget.
Yeah.
Like, you guys will probably look through this and be like, oh, I think that's a new prop.
You'll make the same mistake that we did with the Windcatcher.
Yeah, the Windcatcher we thought was new, but it was not. So, yeah, get ready to make those mistakes. All right, we have all of this. This has all already been in there. Signboards, spine, spooky things, stalk of wheat.
Yeah, here's that stalk of wheat.
Yeah. So I mean, very very simple prop, obviously, but it's good. It's good to get more vegetation in there. So you can have kind of a field of wheat now. So just like get a bunch of these, and suddenly, haha, field of wheat. It's always good to have more and more outside vegetation. All right, so we're in the S's. Got stalk of wheat. We have tribal gong. That's new. So it's turtle shell, basically. So this is a tribal gong for the goblins. Goblins like to use this to call order. So Mr. Goblin Warlord here would kind of come over and hit it with his mace and be like, "Silence! We must talk about killing the dragon."
That was perfect. You need to be like, "We need to talk about our stock of wheat." And then he goes sits down on his rustic table and chair.
I think that might be it of the new loose leaf things here in just props.
I feel like there's...
Oh, no, there's a Warlock helmet. That's right. But before I get the Warlock helmet, let me just go to the end.
Warlord.
Sorry, Warlord helmet. My bad. Let me just go to the end and make sure there's not other things that Oh, the most important thing I'm forgetting about. All right, so but let's go back and go to the Warlord helmet. So this goes along with the Warlord guy right here.
I know what you're thinking too.
Yeah,
It's at the very end of our gallery.
Yeah, so helmet piece for him or for anyone else really. So yay helmets, yay extra stuff. Okay, so going all the way to the end to the most bizarre of items. But let's just make sure there's nothing else kind of on the way there that I'm just forgetting about. I think we're good. I think I haven't forgotten about anything else. What is this? All right, so Zieglaug is the winner of the Creation Jam that happened back in May. And we worked with him on making a prop. And we actually broke it out into 3 pieces to kind of fulfill his vision. So I'm first going to show the these two top and bottom pieces, then I'll show the capsule. So he's got this Zieglaug bottom capsule. So it's basically, you can make really awesome looking robots with this. Let's turn on Snap to Grid. And the other thing that I love to do with it is turn it upside down and Fabergé egg. If you've been waiting for a Fabergé egg, then you got it now. You mind typing in just Z or Zieglaug? There we go.
ZG is not a very common.
That's true. Then we have the top piece, which makes awesome like robot top. You know, it's got the eye right there.
Top of like a droid.
Oh, by the way, these do have power on and off states, so you power it off and kind of there's the emissiveness there. Works with this too, so you power it on and off, and it kind of turns off, turns back on. But also, I saw this and saw that, and it's put something in the middle there, and it's basically a ball from one of my favorite
JRPGs
games on Game Boy and such.
Yeah, that's a JRPG. It's like just.
I guess you could call it that. All right, so then we have the actual Zieglaug's full capsule. So this is those 2 pieces with a spring in the middle, and so it's using our tail physics in a really interesting way. So let's grab one of these. Let's get another one right here, because here's what happens when you power it off. So when you power it off, it's going to settle down, and we are going to take this thing that I've powered off. And we're going to go to Character Studio, Attachments. We're gonna pick this guy below, and we're gonna daisy chain them. So attach it to his tail, because he's using tail physics. So think about it that way. So we put this right here, and then let's get a third one here. Ooh, let's do 4. Let's do 4 of these. All right, so here I'm gonna daisy chain these 2 to it. And this was Zieglaug's intention of doing things this way. By doing things this way, then you can kind of start daisy chaining these guys together to interact in new ways. So now
they're all powered off.
So they are powered off.
It takes a while for them to settle.
it gets to when you have enough. Finally, they all just detecting the disturbances. It gets crazier and crazier. But the cool thing is they all kind of move around with wherever direction you're moving in. So it becomes this like full daisy chained tail. And then if you want it to become super crazy, turn all of them power on. It's gonna become like this crazy whiplashing thing in just a second.
You can even grab it.
Yeah. Oh, I got it! Sweet. All right, let's see if I can get
bottom.
Yeah, let's see if I
got
can.
it. Oh. Close.
So I should have been smart and done this. I should have been smart and done this before I powered the top one on. But you get the idea where it gets really crazy. So it's like I can't wait to see what people do with that. Like this, oh man, I just cannot wait to see what people do with that. So props to Zieglaug when coming up with like a really, really unique item. It
has a lot of character and personality, which is cool.
Yeah, we would never have thought of that. All right, last thing. I don't think we have any more characters. I think we got through all those. Yes, we did. So last thing to show off is we have a bunch of effects.
Oh yeah, these are really cool.
You want to just type in emote?
Yeah, these are really cool. I'm really excited.
So we have a bunch of emote effects. We were going to kind of put these packages together as one little thing for the treasure trove, but they're effects that go along with emotions that the character's doing. So we have, for instance, we got angry, which is basically like, and these are all just like overacting things of emotions. So angry is steam coming out of their ears. Then,
so after the Goblin Warlord rings his gong and then sits down to talk about his wheat, nobody shows up because they don't care about the wheat.
Celebration is confetti just continually flying out of wherever something's happening. So we got confetti there. Also, I think we're gonna hit that arrogance. So you can just hit ignore all when it comes up. So yeah, just always ignore. Oh, use tab here. Bam. There we go. Now it won't happen again. So then we have the dance one, which is just a bunch of
floating music.
Yep, floating music coming out of something. So like this is so perfect if you have like a character playing a flute or something. You have like this kind of coming out of it too.
Yeah, that'll be cool for music games. There's one coming out next week. Do you see that?
Oh yeah, that's true. Great. We have love, which is a bunch of hearts coming out. Then we have sad, which is crying. So
very dramatic, yeah.
Crying! We finally have crying in here. So yeah, it's very dramatic. You can kind of bring it down, so it's a bit
still pretty dramatic,
more manageable.
All I know is if I saw somebody who's crying like that, I'd probably take them to a hospital.
You're losing more water than your body has. And then we have dizzy. So
this is my favorite.
So dizzy one is like something. If somebody's stunned, this
yeah.
kind of plays above there. So these are the new emote effects. I'm really looking forward to them. They really kind of help add personality to when a character's doing something.
Like storytelling, right? And like, especially if you're just using text to rely on it, like these kind of can add what you're going for.
Exactly.
And sometimes like as much as you think you're overselling it, sometimes that like really helps convey what the idea that's going on.
Exactly. So I think that gets through all of the loose leaf items, sort of. These are all the things that were going to be in future treasure troves, and obviously we're no longer going to have the treasure trove. So instead, you get these all in one nice dump on Monday. So is right at 12:01. Few quick things to just also show. Let's go to World Properties, and let's just show. So we have this new feature, Relax Object Calling, which is basically it's meant for Xbox. So I'm going to turn this guy on. And what this does is let's get a primitive here. So yeah, I'll find it. It's the P's, not too far.
It's more than halfway.
Okay, so let's get like one of the small ones. Let's do like just a regular primitive cube. Let's scale this all the way down. So because I'm on PC, I just have infinite draw distance. So instead, what I'm going to do is
go all the way to low.
Right. Let's do relax object calling. Let's go right here. So let's go to options, video draw distance. Let's set that to low. And I can't see it anymore. I can't see this thing until I'm like really close on it. So let's move back until I can't really see it. Let's turn on relax object calling, and now I can see it. So let's go all the way back. So this thing is scaled down to its tiniest possible. So you can still see it all the way from back here. It's keep on going, and it's finally right about where you couldn't even see it
normally. Like
where you lose it. So this will allow you to finally go back and make your pixel art with primitives. Just do a lot of things that people have been wanting to do. This is really going to help with that. What that does, so just to warn you, on Xbox, this will lead to a slight decrease in the performance of your level because it's drawing a lot more things on screen. So just keep that in mind and plan around that. We're kind of leaving it up to you and putting basically the performance of your level in your hands to to balance that as you want to, because we also have twice the amount of terrain. I'm not going to make twice the amount of terrain because I am serious. I kid you not. It'll take me half an hour to get to our terrain limit now, which is just like, it's just crazy. It'll take you half an hour to get to the terrain limit. Just
spamming the brush.
Just by spamming the brush, it's like about half an hour. We also have 500 more props. I'm not going to get to that either because it will take way too long to place down 3,500 props to get to that limit.
It's a lot of props.
One thing I can quickly show though is at least I can show. The brush is now small scale gets down to is 5. Yep. So it's actually default starts at 10 now instead of 15. So it's it allows you to do much subtler things. So that's at 10. Here is what it used to be, which is this was the smallest it used to be able to get, which is 15. And here is now the smallest it can get, which is 5.
Huge difference.
Come on. Oh, I think I need to add, yeah, there we go. So you have to, like, this is, as you can see, 5 is basically kind of the lowest we can go.
Before it stops understanding what's going on.
Right, exactly. So we're giving you kind of the lowest it can go, but you can see the incredible difference between those. So that's 10, that's 15, that's 5. So you can build insanely thin structures with just terrain now, which is great because this pitted together with twice the amount of terrain means you guys should look at using terrain for structures. Like just use it for interiors, for exteriors,
to help you keep on your prop count. And it's great, like just comparing the difference, right, between what the smallest used to be to now the 5% is just insane. On the mounds of terrain, right? Like that's your 2 difference.
Right, it is. So getting to a question on object calling. Now, object calling is not going to, it's not going to decrease the performance on your Xbox by that much. So I wouldn't worry about it too much. Take a complex level that you currently have on Xbox. Once this feature goes out, turn on object calling and see what it does to your performance. I think you'll see it doesn't really affect it as much. The only times it will really have more of an effect is if your character's actually looking at a place that has so many objects being displayed on the screen. That's when it can start to get a bit slower, but it shouldn't get that much slower.
Yeah, I mean, if you have more like interiors and hallways and things like that, that will, you're not looking at 3,000 props all at once kind of situation. If you're looking at 3,000 props all at once with object calling, you're gonna have to slow down for sure. But
right. I'm trying to think of other features. Oh yeah, I guess I can look at, so this guy's default, right? So like for instance, let's go all the way to here. Countdown timer, pause, attack, loop. Let's just say move or turn, whatever. So I exit his brain. Then I like go into somewhere else and I say like do
say don't put
kill
food on me. Yeah.
I go back to his brain, and it brings me right back to where I left off on him. So it's this is what we mean by brains remember their last location. Any brain that you go in and out of, it's going to remember where you last left off. So you can go back into it and just pick up where you left off. Really useful if you have something with a lot of pages. It goes automatically to that page, to that line. Just makes things a lot easier getting to there. So there is one other thing I forgot to show when I was going through the feeds. Oops. It's internal build. Don't worry about that assertion failed thing. Internal build. I'll just go to newest. Let's hope there's not anything crazy that our testers have been putting up in newest. They like to name things different. Okay, cool. There's not. Big tree. Okay, cool.
And the Jimi Hendrix experience.
So, one thing I just forgot to show off is the fact that this is what the when you're in the feeds, this is what it actually looks like now with ratings, because we're not even displaying ratings either. Ratings is not going to be an indicator of any sort of ranking. Ratings is not really, we just found it wasn't informative to creators, so therefore it doesn't make sense to show rating to creators and to players either. You look at something like YouTube, and the only thing you get when you're doing a YouTube search is how many views something had. So just like that, we're only going to show really when you're playing something how many downloads it has. And I think that's a much better indicator to players, you know, what's cool to check out. And they can also look at, if this doesn't have that many plays, oh, it's new, so I can go ahead and check it out. And then to creators, you know, it's ratings were sometimes they were just a mystery, and they were not. They didn't really tell much to creators, so they don't really have to worry about ratings, because ratings are not how we're ranking anything, anyways. So yeah, that should be everything in a nutshell. Yeah. Okay, getting to, let's see, any last questions? We can't talk about what other Team Dakota members are working on. There still are, it's more than just me and Thomas, there's still...
and one other person.
It's more than 3 people. There's still a few people who are 100% focused on Project Spark, and that's going to continue for the foreseeable future. So you guys don't have to worry about that. You also don't have to worry about Thomas and I, after this update being dropped, us being like, peace, we're out of here. We gave you the rat. What else do you want? So you don't have to worry about that. We're just going to continue being here. We're going to continue featuring stuff every week. We're going to continue Let's Plays every week. We will probably...
we'll still be looking at what the community is looking for and wanting.
We're still going to be doing tutorials, even more tutorials every week. We're probably either going to stop these content streams on Thursdays or change them to just us building stuff and you guys watch stuff. So, you know, we'll play around with that. We'll see what you guys want. And you might be looking forward to in the future, you know, not in a few weeks, but in the future, getting some more updates that might still come to Project Spark. So I think that'll do it for us. We're really excited for when this all rolls out on Monday, when you guys just have to worry about playing and creating. You don't have to worry about anything else. We trained our gaming community over the past year and a half to worry about the other things. Yeah. You guys got to log in. You got to get your tickets.
Yeah. All the metagame. Get your creator level up.
Right.
Gotta get your champion to level 20 so you can use this cool chainsaw.
And that was important to us at the time, because it was we were really trying to drive engagement. But you know what's now more important to us is just allowing you guys to create more stuff.
Yep. That was kind of like, that was when we thought of more of it like the gamified experience of Spark, and you know, this progression and all that. But we just want to really have people be able to jump in and just like use anything they can to make the best experience possible, and that's what's important.
Yeah. Exactly. So the update is going to go out Monday. It's going to start rolling out at about midnight UTC, but it's going to continue rolling out for about 12 hours after that. So you get it sometime between midnight UTC and 12 p.m. UTC. So yeah, look forward to that. It's just a few days away.
Should be cool.
So we're gonna end it there. Yeah, we didn't get time to play your creations. It would take us too long, I think, to switch to production.
Yeah,
but
we have to change new build and everything.
There's really cool creations that are featured. I think my highlight is the police patrol.
Is really cool.
Yeah, that one's a really great one. What other one would you recommend?
Ooh, there's a couple really cool ones. I would say there's actually this one. And it takes a little time to figure out what you got to do, and that's like intentional, and it's called Bad Dream. And it has all these different dream sequences, and you're kind of just like, what is going on? And it's really cool. Definitely check it out. It's by Belorco.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, it's really neat. And he was actually collaborated on it too. And definitely, it's be patient with it, because it's intentionally kind of confusing, because it's like this dream sequence. So you have to like kind of figure out what to do.
That's cool.
But it's neat, yeah.
Getting to one last question. So champion and boss brains that were previously locked, we're thinking about ways to open that up for you guys. Nothing to really report now, but we're thinking about ways to do that. So, thanks guys. We'll catch you again. Well, I guess you'll see us on YouTube next week with all of our tutorials, and besides that, we'll catch you either on Thursday or Friday of next week.
Yep.
So, thanks everybody.
Sounds good. See you guys.
Create your game as you play? Any Spark can do it. Spark, activate the portals.